Okay, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our Brownbag session. So, Diljith Brownbag is our way to discuss stuff with our researchers and supporting staff and our members here. Usually, it's in this informal setup. Like you can discuss while you are eating or drinking coffee, something like that. So please
Okay.
don't feel intimidated to be very formal. And yeah, so today we would like to hear what Diljit has to say about a topic that I think, uh, is very engaging right now. So I would like to introduce you to Diljit Kannan. He is currently uh, works for the Indian Institute of Management Bangalore. And as you all saw in the flyer, today's topic is about introduction to ChatGPT, whether it is a threat or opportunity for academia. And I just want to show you. I think all of you has seen this meme, right? Like when I realized ChatGPT
Mhm.
can do my job, and in the second one, when I realized ChatGPT can do my job. So this is actually
Absolutely.
one of the most popular meme about ChatGPT out there, and this is hilarious, and it hits me in the right spot. It really resonates with my thought. Um, so everyone, we are very honored today to have Diljit with us. So I would like to pass the time to Diljit. Could you please introduce yourself better? I'm sorry for the poor introduction. So please
No,
introduce
no,
yourself.
absolutely fine.
Probably your interest.
Uh,
It's about e-learning and generative AI education, right? So please talk about your interest
yeah.
as well. Please, Diljit.
So, yeah. So, hi, my name is Diljith. I've been working with UGM for like almost now 12 to 13, 10 years now. I think we have been collaborating as part of various projects in terms of putting online courses and things like that. So my area of focus and area of expertise is like looking at creating, converting the face-to-face courses into online courses. That's a core area that I've been focusing on. Since we are in content business and GPT or AI technologies are a very prominent part of making content nowadays. I started exploring. So don't mistake me an expert into AI tool developer. I'm more a user, but have figured out different ways of using it in our academic institution. So, and I think I more and more realize that nobody is an expert in this field now because nobody can be an expert per se, because the moment you become expert, the new version comes out and then you are learning again to figure out what is happening. So that's how the field is, and it's happening very fast. So I am more looking for a discussion rather than a session. I have some slides. I will pull it out only if it is necessary. So before that, I will kind of have more discussions with you, right? So that's my whole idea. In case if you are able to on your camera, it will be perfect so that I can see who you are. But as somebody said, it's an informal session. I'm like perfectly fine. I love informal sessions, but it would be great to see you guys usually when you're taking a session. And if you're if you're having your food, things like that, don't worry. That should be perfectly fine also, right? So, we just thought we'll just pull out a poll so that, just to get an idea, right? How many of you have been using ChatGPT? ChatGPT is one of the tools, but just to get a sense. Okay, that's one. Anybody else? Okay, okay.
Oh,
The
as a
other
host,
data is interesting.
I cannot participate in the poll. I think I can only
Me
see
too. Huh?
the results.
I see that you can. Even I can't. So I think you are using it.
Yeah,
Welcome.
yeah. So it will
Right.
be yes
There
and
are 16.
no.
Okay, there are 16 people here, and I've got 4 votes. Wow, that's really bad, guys. Are you guys sleeping?
So
Hello, hello, hello.
if you are using your phone, you probably want to see the notification. guys.
Oh,
I
is it?
think I think it
Okay.
it it won't show right away on the phone, right? The polling
Oh,
dialog
is it?
box.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
So please check your I don't know your
Hey, hi,
Zoom.
Lutfi. I'm seeing familiar faces here, so that's really good.
Hi, Diljith.
Hi, hi, hi. I've got like 5 votes, which is very
Okay.
interesting. This is really interesting for me. Everybody's using ChatGPT. Okay, maybe I should have asked what proficiency level are you in, but anyway, that doesn't matter. But I think most of you are using ChatGPT, and many of you think that it is not going to take away your job. Okay, that's very interesting. I think we should have a bit of discussion on this, right?
Yes.
Whoever has said, can we have few more votes, please? 15 people. That's like 4% of you voted. Anyway, you continue to do. Meanwhile, I will just start asking the questions. So, when you say you have used ChatGPT, what are the things you have used it for? Can I get a sense?
So
Arka, you will
yeah.
want to help me call
Okay.
out
Okay.
names,
Okay.
but I'm just
Okay.
calling you in the beginning, and then you can just pass it on to someone else also. Yeah.
Okay. So everyone, anyone wants to share with us about how you use the ChatGPT? My
Okay, I
my
will
my
start calling
latest
names.
my latest experience is about so we are planning an what is it a conference, and then for that conference we will have call for abstract where people submit their abstract and then get the opportunity to present the work at our conference, right? So I used ChatGPT to formulate a submission guideline for participants, and that's it. I
Perfect.
refined it. Mhm.
Okay,
Uh,
perfect. Somebody
yeah,
created, yeah, Malida,
that's
go ahead.
interesting because uh, he created the guideline through ChatGPT. For me, I created the proposal to ChatGPT. So
Okay.
this is the same in this is the same conference. So
Okay,
I think
that's very nice.
80% of the conference is from ChatGPT.
Okay, so you created a proposal using ChatGPT. That's very interesting. Any other use cases that people would like to share? Have you used ChatGPT for anything? Writing emails, whatever.
Can
Proposal,
I?
guide. Yeah, yeah. Please go ahead. Please feel free to talk. Okay. Yeah.
So I just started
Arka, can
my.
you make it a grid
Okay,
format
okay.
so that it's easier? Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry,
Uh,
I cannot
okay.
turn on my video.
No
Diljith.
problem. No problem. Yeah.
Yeah.
No worries. Just go ahead.
So
Yeah.
recently, so I just started my study like last year, and sometimes I am feel bored, and I ask ChatGPT. Just uh to cut off my burdensome. Uh, so I asked how to become a PhD student. So the ChatGPT
Wow.
answered it for me, but the answer is so normal. So it's just for fun for me actually because I am feel bored sometimes. Thank you.
That's great. That's great. Somebody used it for fun. Just ask questions. How do you be a best PhD student? That's great. I think so. You literally can see different use cases. That okay. You can also. I will also look at the chat. Somebody says, okay, small things yesterday we used it for giving happy birthday, congrats. Okay, that's great. So I think people. When I look at the data, the survey, I think most of you are using it now. Then maybe we can is there anybody who have not used it? If you can even put it in the chat, like who have not even logged in, who have not even signed up and doesn't know what it is. Anybody like that?
We got one no response for that question, Diljit.
Okay, so maybe we'll try that out. So basically, many of them are using it in a different context. We'll come to ChatGPT in the later half of the thing. But I think the second question was very interesting, right? So none of you feel like oh, it's changed now. Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
now 44 people feel that it may take away your job, and 56 people. Okay, So it's kind of half and half. So why do you think it will take away your job? And that's a question I wanted to ask.
So anyone who answered yes, could you please share with us?
I guess. Hello. I guess see.
Komang,
Why do you think?
what
Why?
do you,
What would be the reason? Do you think?
Komang, what
Yeah,
answer did you give?
I
Did
give the answer no,
okay.
Mas Arka.
Okay.
Because sorry, uh, because I think ChatGPT still need its own brain, which is us as human. So
Okay.
it's kind of it's not it can be self-driven, so it's need a driver behind it to get to the exact location where we want it to be. So I think
Okay.
no, it just cannot replace us in our job.
Okay. Interesting. So what I will do is, I mean, it's an interesting conversation. We can do hours doing this, right? But I will maybe quickly put some thoughts into what is ChatGPT, how it is working, right? I mean, sometimes we do, when we understand how it is working, it is easier to understand how we can make the GPT work more, right? So, for example, if I start this slides a bit, right? Anyway, we have this question. So, I mean, this was a very interesting news clipping for me, right? Math teachers protest on using calculators. This was in 1960s, right? So what happened is when calculators came in, they everybody started protesting, right? Saying that, oh, you should not introduce calculators into this class. It will destroy jobs. All the mathematicians will not be required. So this is a typical case with any technology, right? Any technology which comes in, it will always give a fear to the human, saying that it is going to take away the job or it has to be banned and things like that. Then eventually it becomes a routine part of the life when you look at it, right? So so I wanted to make this thing. Most new things make humans uncomfortable in the beginning. So this chat GPT is just the latest example, but if you look at previously when the computer said, that's what they said. Oh, or for example, I mean, even if you go before television said, oh, it is going to revolutionize. Oh, the entire teaching would be happening in television, and you don't need teachers across and things like that. And then eventually, it became a normal part of our life. And if you look at computers came along, everybody said, oh no, computer is going to, it did bring in a lot of changes into our life, but that is how new technology is. And it is not like the jobs are removed, right? The jobs what were there actually got changed into new type of jobs, right? What we used to do, I mean, and this is a debated concept, right? It is not like one or somebody is saying this is correct or that is right. So but the way we see it is, if you look at the history, you kind of understand, right? Any new technology usually makes humans uncomfortable, starting with calculators to computers to internet, right? And the latest one seems to be the chat GPT, which is actually being talked about, right? So the way I see it is, the right, most of these are like tools and kind of inevitable. I mean, if I can put the Thanos picture here, I did not. But usually, what happens is these kind of things are, it keeps evolving, and there is no stopping into the technology being evolving, and we will have to see the potential of using these technologies. Okay, I mean, I just wanted to show this picture. This is a very nice representation of a picture which shows how the AI algorithms are evolving, right? So these are pictures which is taken by this website called the This Person Does Not Exist. So basically, all the images that you see here, these are people who does not actually live or exist. These are AI created images, right? So when you look at 2014, the image was very blurry, with two eyes and things like that. And you can see these systems getting evolved over time, right? 2014, 15, 16, it is much better. 17 was kind of a revolutionary changes. It's also because some of these algorithms or data is getting improved a lot. So can you see in the last 8 years how much improvement the AI systems are able to do, right? And when you look back, it is not like these systems were not capable of doing it. It's also like the data processing and the people are able to make it much more efficient, and the algorithms have improved over time. And so if you fast forward it like 2025 or 2030, these things will become much, much, much better. So, I mean, the sense that I want to give you is image, sound, text, and even various areas like videos are improving a lot. ChatGPT was just a breakthrough where it just gave people an interface to kind of experience it and do it. Otherwise, also this technology was kind of in the back end in many of the applications that we were using. Even Google was trying AI-based systems for a long, long period of time. But ChatGPT was the first system which gave like a big opening to the entire spectrum of people. Like, oh, I can also experience something which is very hands-on, right? So I wanted to clarify some terminologies before actually going to practically do some GPT based thing. Um, so I mean, you know what the GPT is? When Let me just show that it is. So they are saying that it's a generative pre-trained transformer. So I will explain it a bit. So sometimes when you type, right, you get the input exactly what you want, but we need to figure out actually how this input is coming. So can anybody share like how is this GPT able to, when you ask a question, how is it able to kind of give you the response that you want? What do you think?
Yeah, we give it more instructions.
No, but how is it that these systems are able to, like,
Oh,
when you ask for a like, is it fetching from the internet? How is it actually giving you this data? What is your current understanding about it? Like, if
Like
you ask it
collecting
to
the
write an
data.
email, huh?
Yeah. So I'm not sure. I'm still cutting your
No.
like
I'm
cutting
asking,
your
how do you think
yeah.
this GPT is working, right?
Mm.
Have you ever thought how, when you ask to write a proposal, how is it writing? From where is it writing from?
Well, they are kind of
No,
like
because
collecting
if you
data from the
understand
internet.
that,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's a very interesting
They're
thing.
collecting
Okay, fetching data
all
from the, okay,
information and just compile
okay,
it into like that's how AI work, like like collecting information all throughout the internet and just like adjust it into the one that we are looking for. That's the simplest one I know.
okay, interesting. Let's hear from others. Can you
I
tag
think
somebody else, Malida? Because you guys are the only. Can you ask somebody else? Just tag someone else and say what do they think?
Ouch, maybe Irwan.
Yeah, Irma, you are tagged. What do you think? How do you think the GPT is working?
Um, uh, I don't think so about ChatGPT. All the benefit for if you use OpenAI like ChatGPT, but I have several I think problem for the risks of generative AI like ChatGPT. One of the most challenges is like plagiarism and or fraud, all that if we typing
Mm-hmm.
up with all that stuff. Or yeah, I think
Mm-hmm.
it's scientists and medical for publishing is uh, I think there is plagiarism. if we
Okay.
use
But
this.
do you know have you tried to understand how these things are working and why there is no plagiarism, or is there plagiarism?
Yeah, if we take summary or like
Yeah.
the topic that we have to do, and we check in plagiarism tool. Yeah, I think it's more
Mm-hmm.
up to 100% plagiarism for this.
No, not really. Sorry. If you actually generate a text from ChatGPT and put it in, turn it in, or Grammarly plagiarism check, the plagiarism is only 3 to 4%.
Oh yeah,
There is absolutely no plagiarism. I can show it to you right now.
right now
Have you ever
4.0
tried it?
ChatGPT or before this.
Oh, using ChatGPT. When you actually write a text using ChatGPT and put it in a plagiarism check, there is no plagiarism. Absolutely no.
Interesting.
I can show it to you. Yeah.
Interesting. But
Okay.
but
That's why
if we
yeah.
oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Go
yeah,
ahead. Go ahead.
let's go.
No. That's very interesting. That's a very important point that I wanted to. I mean, that you brought out, right? So we think what you write from ChatGPT is plagiarized. No. I mean, is there plagiarism? I don't know. But whatever you put it in the system and do a plagiarism check, turn it in is one of the most used plagiarism tool, right? We got a 3% plagiarism, which is much better than the. Anyway, we will try it out here. Okay, I mean we'll try it out. So, but I mean before,
Oh,
so
okay.
that's very interesting that you brought. Malida also brought the question, and Arka also brought the question, right? I mean, like how is it happening, right? So our the way we are imagining, right? Oh, it is going to the internet, taking the data and compiling it and showing it to you. Isn't that our, I mean, a usual knowledge says? Isn't
I,
that what ChatGPT is doing? Yeah. But
yeah.
that is not exactly what ChatGPT is doing. Because if they do that, that is plagiarism, right? They're taking something from the internet, they are compiling it, and then showing it to you something. And then you will see, oh, this part is plagiarized, this part is plagiarized. But that is not the way actually ChatGPT is working. Okay. So let me take you to the concept called one small technical word I will use. Okay, I'll try to simplify it as much as possible, but I will use a word called tokens. Okay, you know what a token is?
Yeah.
What is a token?
It's a word used for many, so many purposes, I think. But
Okay.
is
So,
it?
okay, in token, okay, maybe true. So, token in terms of in the GPT or this environment is tokens are nothing but words divided into parts. Like every day is 2 tokens. Every end day. Is
Okay.
that okay? Huh? Or give me another word. Uh, Presentation. Present Presentation is a 2 word. I'm just giving a random word, but you understand, right? A token consists of 3 to 4 letters, right? So how ChatGPT is trained is it is it is taking lot of this text format, breaking down into tokens, right? All this text is broken down into tokens, and then creating patterns with that. I know it's not clear, so let me give you a simple example, right? So if I tell you a text which says, let me take it, how are, right? What is the next sentence, next word? Hello, can you hear me? Oh, I'm not sharing the screen. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, not yet.
Okay. No worries. If I tell you how are, what would be the third token?
Is it going to be you?
How are? Yeah,
You.
yeah. How
Uh,
did you come up with that word?
because everyone, I mean, if we are talking about how are the next word Must be you.
Yeah, it must be you, right? The probability of how are you is mostly used, right? It can be how are we also, right? How are you? How are your car? Or but the probability of you is more, right? Now scale this entire concept into bigger concept, right? That's how ChatGPT is working. So when you say how are the probability of you is more, right? Like that, when you ask ChatGPT to write something, it is looking at the pattern similarly and write an email or write a concept note. It is trying to look at all these patterns and fill up the next word. Do you understand this difference between collecting the data from internet and curating it to how tokens are put together to create sentences? I think we need to be clear about that concept before going forward. That's the main difference between a, chat GPT, which is, they call it the large language model, LLM. I'm using one more word now, token. Second word I'm putting is LLM. I know it is a bit technical, but I will still, we'll clarify this. So do you understand how the chat GPT works? Maybe I want you to summarize this before I go forward, because this is a very important thing that you need to understand before going forward, right? So do you understand how it is working?
What I
Erwan, you want to tag? Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Go ahead.
Aaron, please tag other people.
Yeah. Erwan, you want to tag somebody else? People who have not spoken?
No, I think yeah, but if you mention about collecting data or whatever for data in internet, but I think the risk of AI is like to become cybersecurity or not. What do you think about this?
Sorry, I didn't get the question. Uh,
If AI like ChatGPT can take all data in internet,
okay.
if you think this is can become worst case, it's like
Yeah, we will get
to
into that.
yeah
Okay.
yeah
No, yeah, we'll get into that. Before getting into there, I want to understand, do you understand what ChatGPT is? Because
yeah
how it is working? Because that is very important to understand that it is not fetching information from the internet. What
yeah
OpenAI have done is it is given certain set of data to the system and it is making tokens out of it. And when you actually give an input, it is actually filling up this words using tokens. That much do you understand?
yeah.
Yeah. Denny, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just wondering how far that Chat GPT abilities to like uh, do something more complex. Like for example, my brother right now in engineering, machine engineering. So
Mm.
he tried to ask about his assignment in the
Yeah.
thermodynamic. Yes,
Okay.
thermodynamic. And he said that the answer is all of them are wrong. So I think there is a limitation from ChatGPT to do something like assignment for the students. What do you think? So
So
I think the ChatGPT is not as worse as we think as academicians. What
absolutely,
do you think?
absolutely. I absolutely agree. That is why I wanted you to understand that when more than why it is showing the mistake, right? It is looking at patterns and putting it. At the end of the day, we think that ChatGPT is intelligent, but more than the intelligence, what you need to understand is it is putting together words based on like the how are you, so it will put you. Are you sure that you is the correct thing? How are we also could be the possibility, right? If you are intending we, it will actually say you. right? And then you will have to look at the context and say, no, I want this or I want that, and things like that. So basically, the term that I wanted to tell is these are patterns that are created. These are patterns that are created, and it is not actually taking something from the internet and showing it to you. Is that clear with everyone? So that I can maybe quickly show some demo
Actually,
because we have
what
a.
is something is not clear for me, Diljit, because
Okay,
I can
yeah,
get it
please
that
clarify that.
yeah,
Yeah,
I can get it that ChatGPT doesn't directly connect to the internet, but when you say it needs to construct words based on patterns, I mean,
yeah.
the system needs something to work on, right? So did the creator just provide a dictionary to it or something
Yeah,
something
for
like that?
example, for example, imagine you can take all the data from the internet, all the Wikipedia, all the information that is publicly available in the internet,
Mhm.
feed it into the chat GPT and ask the system to say, can you understand the pattern?
Okay,
I'm simplifying it for us to understand
okay,
what is the fundamental in which there are different type of learning, right? Reinforcement learning, input based learning, human basically, these are algorithms creating patterns with words. That much you need to, at least, I'm not saying that it is like that, but for us to understand fundamentally the difference between fetching it from internet and curating it, to saying that there are these data sets which are available there, and ChatGPT, when you are giving an input, it's creating pattern with this token.
okay. And if I'm not mistaken, it was fed with data back to 2021, right? It didn't go
Yeah.
back before that.
As of now, they have created till data till to 2021 because of some concerns of privacy and the
Okay.
security issues, right? I looked at actually how these algorithms are. For example, ChatGPT 4, they are saying for security and privacy concerns and competition, they cannot reveal how these algorithms are working. At the end of the day, so what is happening is none of them know how these algorithms are. And there is a big of back hole, I think, to answer the question of Erwin, saying that is there concerns? There are definitely privacy concerns. Italy banned ChatGPT for in the last month, saying that there are privacy concerns. There is no GDPR compliance. There is a lot of these issues, right? They were asking ChatGPT to pause their development so that the EU can create regulations around it. So there are this lot of these things are very uncertain and things like that. But one thing is very sure: these kind of you can't resist this technology, right? ChatGPT is not the OpenAI is not the only one who are working on it. There are other people who are definitely working on it, and they will keep improving this thing. Google has already come up with another technology called Bard. Microsoft is already integrating their Copilot into their systems, right? So these things will keep evolving, and there is definitely privacy and other concerns. But I think this will get. I think later on these regulations will come in play and things like that, right? So why don't we do something? Why don't we do some examples so that you can get a sense of it? Is that is that
Okay.
is that good rather
Yeah,
than
please.
talking too much of theory, right?
Yes, please.
Right, too much, already too much theory. I think half an hour. I thought only 15 minutes. Anyway, too much theory. But a few words I wanted you to. Is token clear, guys? At least hands up. Is the word token clear? Is
Here.
LLM word is clear? That's what everybody is using this word LLM. What is LLM? Large
Like,
language models, right?
yeah.
Large language models. GPT is a large language model, right? They'll be using this word LLM a lot. So don't get scared. That's like your crossing, and I mean the code name of what the GPT is just a brand name, but the LLM is a fundamental, right? Large language models are the another keyword. One more word, if you want. I just wanted to introduce one more word, if that is okay. Have you heard the word prompting? That's a big word, no? Prompting.
Yeah, yeah. It's like entering
Prompt.
a comment, right?
Yeah. So prompting is how you enter a command to the GPT. That is how prompting is. Prompt engineering is a science which actually teaches you how to give command to the GPT. Is that okay?
Yep.
LLM, token, prompt engineer. These three words you will hear a lot when you're using this week, right? Okay, let's try it out. Let's start with, let me just share my screen. Let me just see what we can do. As academics, what do we do? Actually, can I write a blog or something, right? Maybe like, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So I will start with saying, write a blog on what? Yeah, give me a name. Tropical diseases. Okay.
Okay.
Just giving a simple. Okay. So first. Okay. So to clarify your doubt, so I'm copying this, right? And I have a premium Grammarly. Oh no. I think plagiarism. Oh, well, I think I've lost my premium. Do anybody of you have plagiarism check? No, right?
Malida, do you have premium Grammarly?
Grammarly, we have one. I can open it right now.
Okay. Can you do a quick plagiarism check? I'm putting this one in the chat, right?
Sure. Yep.
Okay. I think mine got expired recently.
Okay,
Right.
working on it.
Okay. So meanwhile, okay. So this is just the first step, right? So you are able to write a blog. So, but what I am trying to do is I will give another prompt. Okay. So I am like, these are these big people, right? So I don't understand this thing. So can you explain the same to a 10-year-old, right? Under 300 words. So basically, this is called a prompting. So usually, what people do is they just put an input and stop there, right? So you don't have to stop there. You could potentially give commands accordingly so that you can fine tune the text in a way that you want to change it to what you want. Do you guys get it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Or let me make it. Can you give me a bullet point summary of the same? Do you see that?
Mhm.
So basically, based on what the input that you're providing, no, it will change the input accordingly. It will change the format accordingly, right? So let me go one step further, right? In our case, you know what? We usually create video materials. Okay. So we want. So I'm taking it more to an academic context, right? So I want somebody to write, uh, uh, or for example, want to create a video for tropical diseases. So what I can say, can you create a script for the topic? Do you see
Mhm.
where I started with a blog, right? I summarized this to a 10-year-old, right? So that's one kind of prompting, right? You want to simplify the text into how you want to be. So you can say, can you summarize it to a 10-year-old, or can you explain it to a 20-year-old? that usually what happens is that prompting you can use it to simplify or make the subject a bit more complex, right? So here, this is a text that I used to say, oh, can you make it a bit more bullet point, right? I went even one step further and said, can you create a script, and which gives me an intro, the details, and it's more conversation. Let me stop. Do you guys see?
Yeah. Interesting.
Have you guys? Anybody of you? Malida, did you check the?
Yep. It is at 50%. 15%.
How many?
15.
15%, because it's a very common. And did it say plagiarism? Okay, so that's interesting. So let's do one thing. So since she said it's plagiarized, right? So what I will do is I will take the same text, right? And I'll take a new this one and say, can you make the following text I don't know, what do I say? Text more academic. Okay. Okay. So I'm providing the text that I previously generated. Or can you make it 500 words? So basically, it depending upon how you give the input, right? You will be able to change how the response is getting. You get that point? Okay, can I give you another use case? I mean, this is just one of the use cases, right? Another use case. Imagine you have like COVID-19 data explorer, right? So usually what happens is when you are reading a lot of data, right? Or maybe let me just take a news, right? So I'm reading a news, right? How ChatGPT can maximize communication potential, right? So what I can do is I can just copy this whole thing, right? And say, can you create a bullet point summary of the text below, right? Then I give this input. I take the input from the computer and give the text, okay? So can you see?
So what's
So the
happening
most,
now? Yeah.
yeah,
So what's happening now? It's still constructing words based on its knowledge, but it only uses the words that you provided before, right?
exactly. So this is called few shot learning or something, where you are already giving a text here, and now this output is based on this text that we have provided. Okay. So let me give. So for example, imagine you already have a script. Okay. You already have a script for your course. Okay. So you want to create multiple choice questions, right? So that's a common
Right.
use case for academic, right? So what you do is you copy this. Okay. Can you create a multiple choice questions based on the input that I provide? Okay. Okay, and the input that I'm going to provide is this, and here you go.
So teachers take note.
Yes. So okay. So it's how you give the input. So don't think ChatGPT is something which you give input and then you get an output, right? You can also give your own input to get create. I mean, how much time do you think these kind of things actually usually takes? And now we
Yeah.
can actually do it in a very, very interesting manner, right?
Mhm.
Or let me go one step further, right? Can you create a written assignment for the same assignment question for the topic? So you see the potential, right?
Yeah.
What I wanted to give a sense is scripting, right? Creating your question, right? Creating multiple choice question, right? And another one thing I wanted to also see is translation, right? Don't think that these things are only working in English, right? I can translate this to what is your language? Yeah?
Bahasa
Indonesian. I can.
Indonesia. Yeah, Indonesian is okay.
Okay, I'm just saying Indonesian. And okay, I think it's. Please provide me the text that you want to translate. Okay, let me give this text then. Okay. Does it translate?
It's using good Indonesian. On point.
Quick question
Yeah.
though. Is it grammatically correct though?
It may not be grammatically fully correct, right? So, but having said that, I mean, so what I wanted to say is you are getting the first draft of it, right? It is giving you the first version to start working on. So basically, if I want to uh, put this into conclusion, you will see these tools evolving a lot. I'm still using GPT 3.5. I took a premium version and I've now returned to my institute to kind of. I've also told Dhoni that you may also want to consider. These models are becoming more and more improved, right? And these questions and the way it is formulated, the translation, the way it can formulate sentences are improving a lot. But let me tell you, if you ask a dumb question to a GPT, don't expect it to give a smart answer, right?
Well, more,
I mean,
yeah, continue, please, sorry.
no, that's a very interesting thing I keep in my mind. People say, I asked a dumb question. Right? So, can it give me a smart answer? So, usually what happens is if you ask good questions, you tend to get good answers, right? So, the entire concept of prompt engineering is where you ask good. So, for example, I asked a good question, right? Saying that, can you create a multiple choice question? That's actually not a very good question, right? A better question would be, can you create a multiple choice question which has specific answers? What are the concepts? That's where your input is coming. The human element is going to come in, right? Where you know it better, right? Or can you give me an article on tropical disease specific to Indonesia, which is a region area? So you can actually give this complex input that actually generates very, very smart answer. So basically, you can give good inputs and get very good output out of it. It is how you actually ask questions to the bot, which actually will determine how the response you get. I think I'll stop at that and then we'll take questions and see what we can do. Yeah, Malida.
Just a quick one. So, based on the one that we statement before, this is why it is really important to learn about prompt, right? People like
Yeah.
learning about how to create a prompt, like a like good prompt for like their project and stuff. Then just I'm wondering, so there are a lot of courses about like ChatGPT or maybe like AI writing generator and stuff, right? I'm just wondering if it is kind of like a course or maybe even like the whole semester about like AI. What we are learning to do? What kind of thing that we are learning and how it will beneficial, because like people always recommend that they take a class of like AI and stuff, do it beneficial for you and stuff. That's it.
So, I mean, the way I see it, right? I mean, there is like ton of courses in the market, especially nowadays, Coursera, edX, and all that is. Before going into courses, I strongly feel how you think of using, how you can use it in your own uh, systems, right? Initially, by starting there, right? The starting point is you're doing something, right? Malida asked, "Oh, you're Googling more than you are using ChatGPT more than the Google, right?" I mean, it makes sense because you are getting precise answer. You need to verify that. There's no doubt about that, right? You need to verify whether that data is correct or not. But some of the things are like obvious, right? For example, I need to write an email, right? So I will tell you how I write an email. I mean, let me just show you an example, right? So, okay, that's the last example I will show. So I want to write an email about something. So I am taking, okay, leave for 3 days, going home, will be back only, will be working from home. Okay, and so yeah, so I copy this. So what is happening is I'm giving my key information, right? Huh? Nidhi will be the point person during my leave. Okay, so I'm taking this information. Are you seeing my screen? Right? Hello?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Write a email with the following point, and I'm giving that input. So it's giving me a subject, right?
I've never tried this kind of thing. This is new for me. This is interesting.
Yeah.
I try to.
So
It is my habit right now. Well, I write mine and then just like trying to make it more polite and more professional, and then I'm just please like replace it into more
yeah,
professional email. So
exactly. So yeah, so some of you have used it, but so basically some people may argue it is killing your writing skill, but I don't know, right? I mean, so Grammarly, in that case, Grammarly is also killing your writing skill and things like that. But this is a tool which is available right now, right? So it is giving me the text. Now I am lazy not to even write the name of my manager, so I'll say, okay, don't. My manager is Tony, and I am on leave from 16th May to 20th May. Uh, give some good reason for leave. Okay. And hopefully it should generate. So you don't need it to be slow means you should upgrade the thing. I think I've overused the system a bit. But I think you get the sense, right? You get the sense of the usability, right? So when you want to write something, you can potentially write the key points here. That especially works for proposal. Huh? So don't think that ChatGPT is the only one who is generating text for you, right? My point that I wanted to make is you can give the text and change it the way you want it, right? And get it back to you. Any other questions, guys? I mean, like, Taking sessions online is really crazy. Even though we promote a lot of online teaching and learning, but still, I mean, like, did it kind of make sense?
I think
There
so.
are 18 people here. Okay. Wow.
Well,
Can I ask?
yes, please.
Yes, please. Lot of
Okay.
questions. Yeah.
Okay. Mm,
I want you to
I
tag
think
somebody who have not asked after this. Okay. I'm
okay.
going to take a lot of questions. Yeah.
I think ChatGPT is well written and so fluently. And I think just superhuman can do this if we talk about human. And this is so dangerous. And do you any suggest if we filter about all, I think it's like do you have any suggest like tools or applications for to detect this is from ChatGPT or not, or this is created for human? It's like to filtering about this is for ChatGPT or this is for bot or whatever it is.
Correct. Correct. I mean, see, that is why that is a problem, right? I mean, so for example, very good question. So I can say, I can actually take the same summary, right, and say, paste it here and say, top, is it written by ChatGPT? Okay, it may say that, right? But actually, if I take this and go to another tool, rephrase it, and come back here, it wouldn't even say that it is written by ChatGPT, right? You understand the point? Hello? You get the
Yeah.
thing? Yeah. And also, if you go to Open AI, AI checker, right? There is a tool within OpenAI, whether it's AI written text or not. I'm putting that in the chat. Okay. So there is a tool within OpenAI actually which actually clarifies whether it. But I think these models, no, for example, if you take it from an Google model and put it into an OpenAI model, they wouldn't even know. Or even rephrase it or grammatically change something and put it here. I don't know whether these things are, I mean, like Elon Musk may come up with a truth GPT and I don't know, but that is still not at there. It will get evolved.
So these are the very same people who created ChatGPT, but they also created an AI
Yeah.
classifier, right? Mhm.
Yeah, exactly. Any other questions? I think there's no conference or no meetings nowadays without these kind of discussions a lot. Anybody has any clarifications or like how things are going?
Actually, I have a comment about you said that some people say that ChatGPT is killing your writing skill. Well, I have another point of view. Actually, for a native speaker, like non-native English speaker, reading is my number one method of learning English actually. So I've never been to any English course at all, and I think I gained most of my English skill by reading. So actually by using ChatGPT, and it shows me like the good way to formulate words, it kind of helping me with my English actually. So
No.
yeah. So because reading is my main method of learning. Like by reading the correct grammar, the correct words, I can create my own sometime.
That's really great. So let me then show you another example because you shared this. So usually I think this is a use case which is very useful, right? So I've written something, imagine, right? I've written something, right? On my own. Okay. So let me just say that I have written, like, I want to come to the session today, but I am not okay, or something like that. And then you copy this thing into the GPT and say, you can just say, can you just check the grammar of the text? Huh? Right? So, it will take that email. I mean, this usually helps for the email, right? And when you just copy paste it and just say, check the grammar, right? Then it will actually only check the grammar, right? And another thing I wanted to share with you is, like, can you behave like a English
Okay.
tutor, right? Then actually, if you give the text, no, it doesn't actually give the response directly. It will actually try to tutor you based on what you want to say. I think I've exceeded the limit. I think that's why it's slowing it down. So, I mean, like, different use cases, right? I think what we want to use this prompt, this session, is that you go anyway, sign up for this and try out in your day-to-day work. How can you use it? Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Anybody else who have not spoken have any questions?
Or maybe anyone wants to share like how
Yeah,
they
please do.
use ChatGPT. I
You.
mean, you're
Yeah.
like asking it to behave like an English tutor. It never crossed my mind. So,
Yeah.
Mhm.
So what you will see is, in the future, is these applications getting integrated to our. See, this is just the first version of it, right? You will see this application integrated to various other applications. That's where GPT-4 is, where it is offering this API connections to other applications. So in the future, you will see ChatGPT's engine being powered to all your apps. For example, all your apps will get a lot of this integration with ChatGPT or other tools. I'm just giving ChatGPT as an example, but other tools. Do anybody else have any use cases that they can share? Okay.
I think there's one. Sorry, maybe I'm cutting like the time or something.
Yeah,
But
no
I
problem.
found something though. So I just like wondering. I tried to please write a personal story about someone who just got a TB, tuberculosis or something. Uh, they said that they cannot do that because they cannot disclose someone identity or something. So they kind of like reject I don't know, the request or something. So it's really interesting when it's like requesting a personal story or stuff. They still I think they can reject it. And the other stuff that this one that there's a reels or like a social media create request chat GPT to search for like several websites that's serving a pirate file, like a pirate product or something. They reject it because like it is like they kind of like there is a regulation and stuff and ethics. So I think the programmers also like putting some stuff to like just control the chat GPT itself. It's it's just like the one that I'm finding interesting.
I mean, it's in a way scary and also very interesting, right? I mean, like, it's always a cycling between how the technology is evolving and how much you can use it and how much you are getting excited about it. And also, I mean, but one thing is for sure, these technology will kind of slowly be seen in all the things that you do. That is for sure. I mean, there is no turning back, at least as of now. Tomorrow, if every government has to decide saying that no, we'll ban. I don't think that is going to happen. Right? Okay, then. Thank you for the time. Oh, yeah, great. I love questions.
Please,
Antonia.
Mbak Rika.
Yeah, please.
Hi. Thank you so
Hi,
much
hi.
for your explanation on how to use ChatGPT more effectively. This is very interesting. I have a comment and also question. A comment is that I think this kind of AI tool should help us, should work like IA, our intellectual augmentation, right? It's like to help human to increase their intellect, not to replace human in making any writing or article, but it still just like help us increase our intellect. Like for example, what Archa also said, that he became smart in using English by learning from reading from the chat GPT and everything. That's first comment. And my question is, do you think the chat GPT can replace us in generating an idea and creative idea of, for example, making topics for some workshop or things like this? Because I don't know, because I didn't follow your explanations in the beginning. I was late following. I was just wondering, for example, if we put a question in ChatGPT, can you give us some idea for any workshop in art or things like that? Will it give us really some idea, some creative idea?
Idea on art. Let's try. It does give.
Yes.
Or art, or what is a workshop on? Okay, you're okay. So this is a prompt, right? I am going to conduct a workshop on
Yeah, yeah. Can you give?
tropical medicines. Yeah. I'll go one step further, okay? Can you give a agenda for the workshop, which is of 3 days duration? And what else can you give? And
Idea.
yeah, sorry, what else?
Whether ChatGPT can give us any creative
What do
idea
you?
about
Okay,
topics.
yeah. So even the agenda is prepared, yeah, with creative topics, in the agenda. Okay. Okay, my thing is become very slow. It's because I've been using it a lot. I think they have some word limit, yeah. But it definitely gives. That's what I think. Malida, you have the GPT on with you? Anybody has? I'll just put this prompt in the chat.
Or for example like this, there is any competition about writing any idea on climate change. Can ChatGPT give any creative idea about that, or
It, it
making?
it can. I mean, it's just that mine is not working now. Wait, let me just 1 second. Give me a second.
I can do
Let
it,
me just.
if you
You can
want.
do it? Oh, great.
Yeah.
Yeah, please. Yeah. Can you ask that question? Yeah.
Oh, okay. It's
Yeah. So here you go. Is that good enough ideas, or you want something else?
well, probably not chikungunya, but okay.
Yeah,
Maybe
so
chikungunya.
that's very important, right?
Yeah,
So that's the
the big
input that you
tree.
can give. So uh so uh so Arka, can you give can you remove it, right? Can you refine it and maybe reduce the session, and or remove the sub bullets?
Sorry, can you repeat?
Like remove the sub bullet. You don't want this bullet points, right? You want, and
Okay, okay.
add time to it, right? Add timings to it. Morning 9 to like evening. The workshop is between morning 9 to evening 5 or something like that. Perfect. So you get the sense, right?
So actually it can also help us to generate some creative idea. That will be really makes us lazy. That's
What is this, Mbak Marita? Do you recognize this? Guinea worm disease, what's that? I never heard about it.
So you have to fact check, right? I mean, so that's something
Yeah.
which I wanted to say, right? I mean, you have to fact check. You can't just say that this is right, because at the end of the day, that's why I wanted to say this is tokenizing. This is putting the patterns together. You have to see if that pattern is right. You can't say that this is absolutely correct or wrong, right? Use this as a first draft. I think that's the point that everybody is saying, at least as of now. And since May we are speaking, let's use it as a first draft to create your agenda.
Oh, it added coffee break. Great.
Because it is seeing lot of patterns of the
Yeah,
agendas and
yeah.
creating a pattern based on that. Anybody else has a use case? I think we can stop in next 5 minutes. If anybody else have another use case or any examples that you have ideas, maybe we can just try giving that an input. I will give you another interesting input, one more.
Okay.
The same thing. Go to the same prompt, tropical workshop,
This
Argo.
one?
The same. No, the back one. Can you go to the that?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You can also say make it into a table format.
Oh, interesting.
Sometimes that is something,
Wow.
right?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So yeah.
Well, I'm sure it will be very useful for the administration things in TropMed, right, Mas Archer?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's why I showed you that meme. Maybe Mbak Murita you haven't joined yet, so I will show it one more time.
Yeah, I think let's conclude with the meme.
The first one is like heavy, and the second one when I realized that GPT can do my job.
So I mean, please try it out and have a session like this. Even I would like to see other use cases that you guys have created and tried it out. Right? It just. I mean, so the potential is indefinite. This is just few things I were able to show, and you also try what are the things that you can do. Combine the table, make the table split. I mean, you can do things like this, crazy things. Uh, Hope I think this will give a super tool. I mean, sometimes many of the when I showed my team these kind of things, they were like, "Oh, I've been using ChatGPT, but we didn't think of using it like this, right?" So it's a discovery for us also. So please share interesting case studies on this, and we can also learn from each other. I think in a group. Yeah.
Okay, very interesting.
Thank you, guys. I think very patient. Sorry, I think everybody stayed, even though we exceeded by 20 minutes. I hope the session was helpful. I think we are working with UGM a lot, so I will hopefully interact with all of you. Or this is the CTM team only, right? No. So yeah, so we are working with CTM. So hopefully we will get to interact with each of you in some point of the time. If you are definitely working in training, you will interact with me. Right. See
Okay.
you. I think Dhoni is in
So
another meeting.
I want to wrap up this session by using closing statement created by ChatGPT. So, all right, folks, that's a wrap for our ChatGPT discussion. I want to take a moment to express. Oh no, 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 no! I don't want to say this because this is my sincere appreciation. So, even though it's written by ChatGPT, we really appreciate your time, Diljit, for your
Thanks,
expertise
yeah,
and
thank you.
enthusiasm. Made this session truly engaging. So, thank you so much.
Thank you, yeah, thank you.
People, this will be the
So
first. Mhm.
somebody who have not gone through this session, so you take the transcript, put it in ChatGPT and say make summary and share it to everybody who has not attended the session.
Yeah,
Okay.
good idea. So this is the first of the series actually. So Diljit will give more thoughts about ChatGPT. The
Okay.
second one is about prompting, right? And then the third
Actually,
one,
we covered a bit of it.
yeah, I
Actually,
know.
we took a bit of time today and covered a bit of it. So
Mm-hmm.
maybe we can next session. What we need to do is if everybody can come up with at least one case that
Okay.
they can showcase, that will be more interesting. We can
Yeah.
discuss on that, right?
Okay.
So I think today, I mean, I was supposed to cover this table and things like that in the next session. So I covered it today only. So why don't we do a case discussion that everybody comes with their own cases and how they have used it, and then we can see how we can refine it. That would be more interesting, right?
Yeah, yeah, I think so. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Okay, so
So
we will
looking,
come up with the information about the next session.
yeah,
So it will
yeah,
be sometime this month, I hope, or maybe early June. But yeah, it depends
yeah,
on your availability. So
yeah.
once again, thank you so much, Diljit, and thank you everyone for coming. So see you on the next brown bag with Diljit again.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Diljit.
See you. Bye bye. Thank you. Thank you, Donika.
Bye.
Bye bye. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye bye. Bye bye.
Bye.